Last month, Dr. Dre was one of the recipients of the Global Impact Award among Missy Elliott, Lil Wayne, and Sylvia Rhone. His award was specially honored as the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award during the 2023 Grammys, highlighting his accomplishments throughout his career, his role in NWA, his solo career as a producer, founding Aftermath, etc. Amidst the performances, events, and honors commemorating the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, there was one person who should have been in attendance for her contribution to the culture, but was excluded from the momentous occasion because of an awful incident that ultimately ended her budding career in the music industry.
I'm Dee, you're watching Pump It Up, and let's kick it off with this video by Kool G Rap, Road to the Riches, while I find Ice Cube.
Dee Barnes is most notable for being the host of Fox's Pump It Up, which was a popular weekly music show that ran in the early 90s, highlighting the latest hip-hop videos and interviewing hip-hop stars like Will Smith and Queen Latifah. It was pretty much 106 in Park in the 90s. Before becoming a TV personality, she was in the rap duo Body and Soul with her close friend Rose Hutchinson. Body and Soul was signed under the Delicious vinyl label, but the group had an extremely short-lived run in the late 80s, which led to Dee Barnes transitioning from being a rapper to a journalist/TV personality in the early 90s. Her rising career as a TV personality unfortunately took a huge turn. Against her decision, Fox decided to insert a clip from an episode featuring Ice Cube into another episode featuring NWA to boost ratings and push the NWA episode. In the clip, Ice Cube was mocking the DOC, who was tied with NWA, and NWA was very bothered by that, especially since both were beefing at the time. NWA pretty much looked at Dee as an op, even though she disapproved of Fox's decision, and it was out of her control. On January 27, 1991, Dr. Dre confronted and brutally assaulted Dee Barnes at a Def Jam record label release party in West Hollywood. He grabbed her by her hair and slammed her against the wall several times. His bodyguard waved a gun around at anyone who tried to assist her. She escaped the scene, very disoriented and confused, and she went into the woman's restroom downstairs. Dr. Dre followed her into the restroom and continued to abuse her. In her sit-down interview with Wendy Williams, she implies that she was sexually assaulted by Dr. Dre in the restroom. She filed a police report for the assault. He pled no contest to the assault. As a result, he was fined $2,500 and served a 2-year probation sentence with community service. Since this was his first offense, his charges weren't heavy. In response to the incident, NWA was featured on the news describing their thoughts on the assault, and they didn't condemn Dr. Dre at all. In fact, they fully supported his brutal assault against her. Check out this clip.
No comment from NWA's record label, but here's what NWA themselves had to say about the incident back in March.
That's what she get. I hope she get it again. She got beat down. The host of that show did something that she knows she did and got beat down, and I hope it happened again. See you around, buddy boy.
What was that, Ren?
Huh?
What did she do that would that?
What did she do?
What did she do that created the situation that made it that bad?
Try to make us look stupid. Tried to play us.
Is that national TV?
Tried to play us.
On national TV.
Tried to play us in front of millions of people. It's not over.
Yeah, you heard that right. NWA said, that's what she gets. She got beat down. I hope it happens again. Ever since that traumatic experience, Dee Barnes has been blackballed from the music industry and has never been able to reestablish her career. In addition, the incident has led to her suffering bad migraines to this day. She has financially struggled, rotating between multiple jobs and being unhoused multiple times. She has gone on multiple platforms throughout the years explaining the incident, expressing her disappointment at hip-hop for not holding Dr. Dre accountable, and sharing her frustration at being blackballed despite being the victim while Dr. Dre, the abuser, thrived. Dr. Dre has a history of being physically abusive and very violent toward women. In 2021, his longtime ex-wife, Nicole Young, accused him of domestic violence as news broke out about their divorce. She claimed that he pointed a gun at her head, punched her in the face multiple times, and even before they're married, he slammed her against the wall. I found it interesting when she shared that people dragged her online because Dr. Dre was hospitalized for a brain aneurysm and they thought she was being insensitive. Brain aneurysm or not, it doesn't change the fact that she said she was abused. In 2013, Michelle opened up about experiencing domestic abuse from Dr. Dre while dating him in the 90s. She mentioned having to get a nose job, having 5 black eyes. Dee Barnes has contributed to hip-hop culture. For instance, she was one of the youngest black women to host her own show at 19 years old, and she documented the golden era of hip-hop, its most important time as it was becoming a commercial commodity. It's upsetting that her career and accomplishments have been wasted and overlooked because the industry rewards and perpetuates bad behavior. The most frustrating thing is that Dee has been reminded about the incident throughout the years. In 1999, 8 years after the incident, it was referenced in Eminem's Guilty Conscience featuring Dr. Dre with the line, "You're gonna take advice from somebody who slapped Dee Barnes," making light of the situation. In a Rolling Stones article, she shared that she knew that Dr. Dre was going to receive an award, but she was very shocked that he received an award named after himself and compared it by calling it the Ike Turner Award. Overall, Dr. Dre got a slap on the wrist while Dee got the shitty end of the stick. As one of the youngest black women to host her own show and being the first on Fox, she should have been at the Grammys celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip-hop. Another thing she shared was her frustration of not being able to coexist in the same space with Dr. Dre. As she states, "I would have been there, I would have been on the red carpet, I would have been interviewing some of those artists." And she makes a good point here because why is she still facing the consequences for Dr. Dre's behavior when his behavior has been forgiven by the music industry? Dee Barnes is still active in the media field. Currently, she hosts a live segment called The Frequency, which launched this year on the Black Star Network, where she interviews and talks with guests, such as the co-founder of the Black Lives Matter, Alicia Durza. She has mentioned releasing a documentary and publishing a memoir about her life and the incident, but there has been no updates on them and they're still in development. Interestingly, Wendy offered her publisher to Dee to help publish her book, but I guess that deal fell through. Nothing came out of that because in the interview she was basically, Wendy was asking her like, "Hey, do you have any like connections or someone who could publish?" And she didn't, but I guess, I don't know whatever happened with that. Fortunately, Dee has been able to have stable income and housing over the years, and it's nice to see her make a comeback in the media on the Black Star Network. To wrap things up, the incident was ridiculously uncalled for. Like, wow, Ice Cube mocked the DOC. Ooh, it got him so riled up. Why not settle your issue with Ice Cube? Why was it with Dee? Like, it just never made no sense to me. And the incident really just made me think about my issue with the music industry on how they'll hold like a certain artist accountable. They'll use a certain artist as like this poster boy for, oh my gosh, you're the worst thing ever, and this is like what a bad artist is, da, 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 da. But then they'll let others like Dr. Dre slide. There's not much conversation about them. No one's really discussing the shit that they do. It's just the hypocrisy of the music industry. It's just so annoying and frustrating. That concludes this video. Dee Barnes shouldn't have been blackballed for over 30 years, while Dr. Dre, the abuser, is even held accountable for his actions, hasn't faced any type of repercussions, literally got an award named after himself. SMH. Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.